Introductory music for an introduction video on college prep math. Now, college prep math, the class was developed 2 or 3 years ago in order to help students prepare for the math placement test for college, because one of the first things that you'll do when you sign up to go to, whether it's CSN, UNLV, UNR, or whatever school you're going to attend, is they're going to want to make sure that you're placed in the proper math class. It doesn't matter what math classes you've taken in high school, unless you've taken AP Calculus or AP Statistics and passed the test and done well on that. They're going to have you take a test, and based on that test result, they're going to put you into a math class that they think that it's best suited for you. Now, the problem is, if you do poorly on the math placement test, you could be put into a developmental class, which is going to cost you money, but you don't get college credit for. So you want to avoid that, and at the same time, not only is this class to help you get ready for the math placement test, but it's also hopefully going to fill in some gaps if you had any trouble understanding the material back in your algebra days. Now, there are some suggestions for success, and these suggestions are no different than any other class that you've taken, any other math class especially that you've taken here at Odyssey. And the first one is the most difficult one for some students, and that is to stay current. That means you work on that week's assignment the week that it is assigned and that it is due. You don't fall behind. It's easy enough to fall behind if you allow yourself. If you want to be successful in this class, one key is to stay current. And that means you have to do some work each week. The second thing I've got listed here seems pretty obvious. It says to learn the material. Now, what I mean by learn the material doesn't mean to be able to do problems by Googling websites or that show you how to the problem itself, or that show you all the information that you need so that you can just kind of copy that down, or you go to some website that allows you to use like equation solver or some type of graphing calculator, where you're doing the work by taking shortcuts. To learn the material means to try to understand the material, to study it, to memorize. Okay, I love teaching at Odyssey, but one of the things that I've discovered over the years that I've been here is that sometimes students won't take the time to remember the material, to memorize the material, because they have the ability to go back and look on a website, or to go back and look on their phone to see a formula or to see an approach. And they do what I call, they Odyssey learn the material. And that is that they can't remember long enough that if they had to sit down and do a problem set on paper without resources to refer to, they wouldn't know how to do the problems, or they wouldn't know how to do the problems very well. So you want to make sure that you're getting something out of this class to help you for that math placement test in college. And that is, you really got to do your best to learn the material. And a lot of that comes with practice. And of course, if you don't understand, ask questions. I'm happy to help you with your questions. You can make a list of them if you're coming in on your class day and you've got several questions. Jot them down so that I can help you with them one right after another. Another thing is that there are different ways to learn the material in this class. You can use the textbook, which is what a lot of students like to do. They just look at the examples and they read through the textbook. It's online. You can find that. Every chapter is online, and resources as well. You can use the notes that I provide. Now, in each section, other than really the first review chapter, in each section of each chapter, starting with chapter 2 on down, I have a link that you can click on, and you will get some notes that I hand wrote out, and it's fairly legible, hopefully you can, and it's very detailed. You can print out those notes and use those, because not only do they cover the material and give definitions and show lots of examples, they show you how to do the work on the examples. They show you the step-by-step process. on how to do the problems. And of course there's going to be instructional videos. Now this year I'm going to try to have instructional videos that I've created. I hope to be able to stay ahead of you guys, because there are so many sections and so many chapters that are in this course. And what I'm going to do with the videos is, rather than make one really long video covering one section in the book, I'm going to try to break it up into videos that cover each objective of each section. So you may have some sections that will have 2 or 3 videos. You might even have a section with more than 4 or 5 videos. So I'm going to try to keep the videos a little bit shorter that way, because I know students have a tendency not to want to spend 17 minutes watching a video, but sometimes there's just so much information. If you're unsure, that's your best bet. There are also practice problems. The problems that are provided in the book, the odd numbered problems are always good ones because the answers are provided. So you can practice those problems. Check your answers with the selected answers for the odd numbered problems. See if you're doing them right. If you're not doing them right, then that means you need to get some help. If you're doing them right, that probably means that you're prepared to go on to the assessment for that particular section. All right. Now the first chapter, here I am. The first chapter is a combination of a review chapter, arithmetic, just review of arithmetic, and chapter 1, which is pre-algebra. Now I know you've already had algebra 1 and algebra 2, otherwise you wouldn't be in this class. So that should be nothing but review. You shouldn't be seeing anything for the first time. If you are seeing something for the first time, my suggestion would be to come talk to me about it to see if this is the right class for you. All right? So we'll do this first chapter. It's a little different. It's got a video prepared for like pre-algebra types of topics, and then I put in one to help you get ready for the assessment for this as well, on the combination of the review chapter and chapter 1. All the other chapters are primarily Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 topics. And again, this should be a review. And it should also give you an opportunity, like for example, if you were studying factoring in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, and you never really quite got the grasp of it, and you would have to refer to websites that do the factoring for you. Well, that would be a good section, or that would be a number of sections that you would want to really pay attention on, kind of bear down on, ask questions about, and get a better understanding. Because in college math, you have to be able to factor. It's what separates the wheat from the chaff. You have to be able to factor. So it's going to be a review of a lot of Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 topics. The assessment for each section and for each chapter is primarily multiple choice. I would suggest that you make sure that you prepare prior to taking the assessment, to doing the problems, and it goes back to here about learning the material, using the different avenues here of instruction, and of course the practice problems, asking questions when unsure. And in each chapter there's typically 1 or 2 worksheets that you're going to print out and that you're going to show all the work on. You'll follow the examples. If you're not sure what work to show, follow the examples that are in the notes, and then you'll turn those into me. You'll either turn those into me by hand, or you'll turn those into me by taking a scan of it or an image of it with your phone and attaching it to an email and sending it to me that way. And then you'll type in something like turned in paper for those types of assignments. Now, last but not least, academic integrity. Academic integrity means you do your own work. You don't show your friend all your answers or give them your password so that they can go into your account to try to find the answers and such. Or, heaven forbid, you do something along those lines where you're using somebody else's account to find answers. You do your own work. All right? I have had too many situations where students fell behind, another good reason to stay current, didn't want to do the work, realized how much in over their head they were, and they started cheating. They started copying off other people's work and trying to get away with that, and I've caught several. One, of course, the one I like to refer to as the Jaf Incident. The Jaf Incident resulted in him not being able to graduate with his class and having to go to summer school and make up a bunch of work. Don't want that to happen. So, do your own work. If somebody comes up to you to ask for them for help, It's okay to help with a question or two. It's okay to help if they don't understand how to work a problem. You know, that's why I hope that they'll come to me and ask questions, but it is not okay just to let them look off your work. It's still cheating on your part as well as their part. Alright, so academic integrity. And the key of the class, hopefully you will find, is just a matter of staying caught up, asking questions, practicing all the time, and that you'll get something out of this class to help you get ready for college, which is probably less than a year away from you if you're watching this video right now. Good luck.